Hi. Happy Sunday. You look so great in your Seahawks gear, and I am just in survival mode. I don't have Seahawks gear. The kids do. But they're not even in their Seahawks gear because I couldn't find it.
Oh no.
So go ahead.
Uh, Wilder and Lennon are in jerseys, and I was gonna put a jersey on, but it's so cold here.
Yeah.
It's like -14, or I don't know
Yeah.
what it is today.
I think the high where we were yesterday was 16.
Yeah.
So
I'm ready for summer. I feel like I keep saying that, but I am.
yeah.
Yeah, well, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. I think this is going to be a little bit of a different episode than we've normally done. Because
Hmm.
we were talking about kind of, what to talk about and different topics that we want to talk about in life. And okay. And then it just kind of kept circling back to different lessons
Uh-huh.
that we've been learning in church and different sermons we've been listening to, which of course correlate with everything else that we do want to talk about on a deeper level. But kind of just bringing it back to like the lessons and the words of church right now.
Yeah, I mean, it is Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Yeah. And we were also saying that sometimes people can get weird about like talking about church or
Mm-hmm.
God um, but the statements still hold true even if you don't think about it in a churchy sense, right?
100%.
So like this came about because we were talking about like last Sunday, and well, first we were talking about just like things going on in our lives, like some big changes may be happening. And obviously, anybody that's been following your whole journey right now, like you moved out of state and you're like in between figuring out where you're going to go. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like a really big deal, especially with two little kids.
Yeah.
So, um, I was talking about how when I went to church last week, I was sitting there and it was like the first words on the screen were God will provide.
Mm-hmm.
And what we were saying is, you could really say that you could change up the words if you want, if that doesn't work for you. For us, obviously, like that's what we follow, right? God will provide.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to dive into that statement first before we kind of get into the other ones that we talked about
Yeah.
offline. But I feel like sometimes, and this is for anybody, not just working moms, but you're going, and sometimes questioning like what the hell is happening right now, or
Mm-hmm.
what am I going to do about XYZ? Maybe you have a big job change. Maybe you like, I was talking to another friend whose company is like being sold.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "What are you gonna do?" And she's like, "Well, I think I may still go do like this same position at another company." She's like, "But also, I don't know."
Yeah.
She's like, "I don't really like." She's in like the food industry, and she's like, "I don't really like this industry, and like I don't know."
Mm-hmm.
So like, when you're facing a huge shift in your life, or like you right now,
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out like you could have gone so many different ways. You could have gone back to Arizona, or you know what I mean?
Well, and that's not off the table. But like
But that's, I know,
so
still like you don't know, right?
so many things, and I think there's so many thoughts and ideas that have come even for me, like, okay, do I continue doing what I do I pivot, like all of these things right in this challenging time of life, right? Now there's obviously been things that have happened that I'm like, okay, well, there's confirmation that I just got, like you got to kind of like go off of the timing, but like we still have a roof over our head. We still have food on our table. Like God is still providing for us even in this limbo situation.
Hmm.
And I've had, and I know I said this offline, but I've had my pity parties, and I have my days, weeks, my husband will probably say months of like this sucks and a bad attitude. I will be first to like I have a horrible attitude, and that is something that I need to work on. Joseph and I were talking about that, like what is God trying to teach us? And I'm like, I just have so much anger. And he goes, well, you might need to work on that. And I was like, of course,
Maybe
whatever.
that's part of your lesson right
But
now.
maybe it is part of the lesson, and just I'm dealing with my own emotions, but then I'm dealing with the emotions of the kids. And so then it,
Mhm.
it multiplies it so much more, right? Where we're trying to figure out our own emotions when I'm like, I don't know really totally how I feel. But then you have, Bennett has started coming to me crying and like all of this extra stuff where you're like, I feel you, buddy. Like, same, me too. And so I think it's hard. I kind of lost my train of thought too, but I like anger
Well,
doesn't come from the Lord also. Like there's certain things, confusion doesn't come from God, right? Like anger, like there are certain things that I know I'm feeling that I know are not actually from God and where they're from the devil. And so it's like having to combat that and be more in
mhm.
God's word and like listen to more sermons and like more like, okay, worship music when driving. And like, so there are certain things that I know in this time of transition and like the grit and the building, like there are certain things that are happening or the way that we feel that are not from God, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah, totally. Well, and I think it's hard sometimes to just let go because we're used to being the problem solver
Mm-hmm.
and we're used to being you're the safety net. You like you said Bennett is like been more emotional or like upset lately or you're the safety net. So it's hard sometimes to allow our own emotions of like maybe being distraught or not knowing what's going on while we're trying to be the problem solver, be the safety net, and do all of those things as well. And just remembering, like, okay, we got to let go and know that
Mm-hmm.
God's going to figure it out.
100%. Well,
Not
and
that you can't work towards helping the solution. That doesn't mean like sit back and like, okay, God's going to provide. Where's my check? You know,
100%. And I think that is something that a lot of people, because we've talked about, Joseph and I have talked about that for years, right? Of like, what are the things that we can do, to, do work for the purpose, right? Versus like exactly you said, like, this is not sitting back, folding your arms, going, okay, God, whenever it's up to you. No, you still have to do work behind it. You still, we're looking at houses all the time. We're figuring out you
right?
know,
Next step.
next
Or
steps, and I'm figuring out my new workflow of being now a homeschool mom and a working mom and all of this stuff.
and not even in your own
And
home.
not even in like, like I'm
Yeah.
like, where's a pencil? I'm like, I don't know. Now I have to buy another pen. Like there are certain things, right, that it's like it's all packed away somewhere and like you can't find anything. And so it's like there's so much like action though behind still God doing it, but you do have to like let go. And I know like such a cliche, let go and let God, and you just kind of keep going.
Well, and also it doesn't mean that that he's gonna provide what you think that you wanted provided.
100%.
Like maybe you're on one path for something, you're like, okay, God's just gonna like give it to me, and then he doesn't because maybe you were supposed to go down a different path. So like that path is gonna be opened up and
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna figure it out, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that call it whatever the provision is that he's giving,
Mm-hmm.
right? It doesn't mean that it's going to be what you think or how you expected it.
Or were you on your God given path in the first place, and now this is getting you onto the path? Other conversations that we've had, like, okay, what are we supposed to be learning in this? Like, really trying to actively, like, use this time, but also what are lessons that maybe other people have to learn through us? Like maybe it's not
Oh,
even
that's a good
it might not
maybe it's
even
not
be
about
our
you.
lesson.
Yeah.
It might be someone else's. Like we really kind of keep dwelling on that and like with the house thing, right? Because we've put in so many letters of intent and all this, and it's like maybe someone else isn't listening to God right now, and we're waiting for them to listen to God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's
Oh
all of
yeah.
those things where you're like, I'm just gonna be patient.
Mm-hmm. But you also have to be open to learning all of that, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
can't be you're not gonna you have to be open to the lesson being there and learning something, right? And maybe you don't even know what that is at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told you that last Sunday I went to church and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
lay it on me. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I like need something right now. I don't even know what it is, but I just know that I need to like hear something to like
Yeah.
shift my mood right now,
Yeah.
right? And the second statement that I heard that I was like wrote it down was trust God's timing with your calling,
Mm-hmm.
which I told you I was just like, oh, there it is.
Yep.
There's the
Mic
lesson that I
drop.
came here for. Yep. Okay, I'm done. I can go home now.
Yeah.
But I think that that is so powerful too. So you have to trust that God's going to provide.
Mm-hmm.
However that looks,
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's how you want it to look. It's how he wants it to look. But also, maybe we're talking about like different paths for work that you and I were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
right? Maybe again, it's not the timing that you thought, or it's not the thing that you thought was going to happen for you right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to trust that whatever your calling is, he's got the timeline figured out,
Mm-hmm. Well, and
right?
then there's things that like you have to learn to get to your like
Yeah.
again more cliche, but God's never going to give you something you can't handle. Okay, so again, like what are we learning in this season that is equipping me for further of my calling? Which okay, maybe we're not ready for it today, right? What do we have to
Mhm.
learn to get there? And trusting the timing of okay, the dreams and hopes and desires that we have that we feel like God has put on our heart are going to come in the timing and we're going to see it on this side of heaven, right? And that it's like okay, now you kind of get to the you just change your attitude of like okay, just give it to me God, like what do I need to learn so that we can get there?
And not all at once.
And not all please not all at
It,
once.
well, yeah, please not all at once, but you can't learn it all at once, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about think about the time that you've been in real estate, right? Call it the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't take on now
Mm-mm.
what you have going on
No.
in year 1.
Oh gosh, no.
You can't skip all the steps in between. You have to learn along the way, and you learn the lessons along the way for each different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Also with the season that you're in at the time.
Totally.
And when some doors close, again with the cliches over here, other things open,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. 100%. Whether
So
it's
it all
another
levels
door or
out.
a window or an escape hatch or whatever, right?
Hmm.
Totally.
And then it brings in also the comparison game that we all like to play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I should be further along. I'm 44. I should have XYZ, right?
Mm-hmm.
I see this on social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we can't do that,
We can't
right?
compare our current chapter to someone else's chapter 23 or
Ooh.
whatever chapter they're on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people use like the chapters of the years. I don't really, but like I said that even in a Zoom the other day because she was kind of talking about something. I was like, you cannot compare where you're at today to someone else's different chapter that they're on. Like you said, right?
Looks so
could
good.
not do what I am doing now, my first year of real estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so someone new coming into real estate should not look at me and go, "Oh, I wish maybe."
Right.
No, I have a
Right.
decade under my belt.
Right.
Now that doesn't mean that you can't do what I'm doing. You just have to learn it all and give time to it. Anyone
Right.
could do what I'm doing, right? But
And everybody's circumstances are different.
100%.
So it's not the same for everybody. I always love the saying too, you can't compare your insides to somebody else's outsides
Hmm.
because of what you see is not really the whole picture on what's going on.
Well, and you cannot, and this came from a sermon too that we've recently started watching, and I might butcher it a little bit, but you cannot compare your life on your God path of where the devil has someone else.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hopefully somebody else was writing down all of the
that
quotes
cut
that we're getting
really
because
deep for me. Like I was like, ugh. But you don't know where the devil has someone, and then when you're comparing yourself or your journey
Mhm.
to that,
Yeah.
mm-mm.
I got another quote ready.
Yeah.
God isn't late. He's preparing you,
Yeah. So good.
right? So you think that you should be at one spot. You think you should be further along or XYZ, right? No, it's all perfectly planned out,
Yep.
right? Um okay, so first one, God will provide.
Mm-hmm.
Second one, trust God's timing with your calling.
Mm-hmm.
The third thing that I had written down from last week's sermon that I was like, all these things was
Thank you, God, for yelling at me. I got it. I got it. Yeah.
I know, I got it. I wrote it all down. Um, what are you holding on to that you should be placing in God's hands?
Mm-hmm. So good.
What are you holding on to? Kind of like what we said in the beginning that you should let go,
Yeah.
right? Um, okay, so what are examples of that?
Well, I mean, like you said earlier, right? We're used to kind of controlling, right? We run companies. We have to be in charge, right? And so it's like, what are you, uh, like, uh, and this is what my like pastor, he always put it in like to the tithing, right? But this goes for anything that you're holding on to, right? When you want to like
Mhm,
grasp and hold on to it, and you just gotta like legitimately let it go. So like, what are we trying to control? Okay, well, I'm trying to control the housing situation, right? Okay, well, I do need to do actions
mhm,
behind that for activity, right? But then I go, okay, well, where am I holding on to it too much that I do need to just go and let it be?
mhm,
Okay, what am I holding on to, work wise and wanting to control the situation? Okay, I need to create different solutions and maybe just like let it go and just know that I might be more tired or that my day is going to look more chaotic in that
mhm.
solution, right? Versus going for the path of least resistance for an easy solution. Maybe it's not that way, right?
Yep.
Um, my health, I feel like I've given to God lately because I'm just like, okay, I just stress eat right now. Um,
Oh, I think a lot of like futuristic things
mm-hmm,
that I know I worry about or have like anxiety about or like what's going to happen. It's things that I literally have no control over.
100%.
Why am I wasting time and like mental space and everything on it
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
when there's nothing I can do about it? What's going to happen is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And all I control is like my own either reaction or part in it, right?
That's what I was just going to say. All we can control is our attitude and how we react to different situations. And I am punching myself in the face with that because I have not been the best about that lately.
Mhm. Well, and so here's the thing, like we're not always going to remember these like statements and practice them,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that's why hearing them gives you like a little reset,
Mm-hmm.
right? I was telling Savannah today about going to church today. I was like, you know what? I go and I go knowing that I am going to get some sort of lesson
Mm-hmm.
of something that I can apply to my life. And for me, it gives me this like reset,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe, okay, over the course of the week now, I had this really great Sunday last week where I wrote down all these things, right? And then now, like, I'm still, obviously, we're talking about it. So I'm still thinking about it and practicing it. But like, going again is like this reset to like remember these things or get a new lesson or take something from it that I can apply to whatever in my life right now,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's like being a mom, a wife, pouring into my kids or work or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's just reflecting also,
Yeah.
you know. So it's not you're not always going to be the perfect mom that's like doing all these things
Mm-hmm.
or remembering like, oh, I'm just going to put it in God's hands or God will provide or da 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 da,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Totally.
Like you said, you've been like angry or this or that. That's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just remembering to like take a beat to reset your mind with all of this stuff or remember some of it or.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's like, well, for me too, I think like it's okay to take the beat, but doing it more in private, right? Because you also don't want to react in a way that's not Christ like, right? Or
Patience will be our next episode.
patience will be our next episode for sure. Because I think, there, and I'm gonna send you a song because I thought of you when I was like blasting it in my car this
Okay.
week. And then I'm also gonna send you a pastor that we've started watching, and I'm probably gonna butcher this again. Um, but it was like you don't want to react in a way that the devil would want you to react in. And so yes, like you're like go do it in private or like wrestle with it in private or with your spouse or like in a safe space, right? But like you also want to try and react in a way that is Christ like versus like purple minion or whatever, right? And
Yeah.
so that's why I'm like trying to do it more in the back and like, hold having discernment of when to say things and when not to say things or like to react certain ways or okay,
Mhm.
having discernment of do I really need to like be a little sassy about standing up for this right now or do I just let it go, right? And
Right.
so,
Well, and it's hard to let stuff go. And it's hard
mm-hmm,
to, but like you said, that's also there's part of the devil in that, right?
mm-hmm, totally.
Another thing that I was thinking about, like, what are you holding on to that you should either like put in God's hands or let go of, is like stories that you're telling yourself, or like
100%.
not like stories about other people necessarily, but s- like things that you have no control
Mm-hmm,
over, or like stories about your past, or old wounds, or like
mm-hmm,
something you did 10 years. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I'm I'm really bad at that, where I think about like stuff in the past all the time, and I'm like, I gotta let that shit go.
Well, that's the devil playing the repeat loop for sure.
And it's not even necessarily like things that you did. It's like it could be like fights you had with somebody, or
Mm-hmm,
like maybe something that somebody else did
mm-hmm,
that you're still holding on to.
totally.
Like, why? Let it go.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Forget.
So that's where my head went to with the like, what are you holding on to quote
Mm-hmm.
that like hit me hard, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So I don't know.
Well, hopefully this was a little bit of an uplifting episode.
I mean, hopefully there's like some little nuggets, you know? God will provide. Trust the timing of your calling.
Mm-hmm.
What are you holding on to that you can either let go of or give to God?
Yeah.
I think we said a couple other ones too.
Uh, don't
I can't
compare
remember.
your pie
Oh
to
yeah.
someone else's pie. Devil,
Mm-hmm.
where the
Mm-hmm.
devil has them.
Mm-hmm. Um, let's see what else.
Hopefully, this is also just more confirmation to everyone that we're real people and we struggle with these kinds of things too
Every day.
every day.
And you know what? What if you could let go of that stuff? What if you could let go of like you're replaying that story in your head all the time, like, oh my God, this mom like doesn't like me, or like
Mm-hmm.
this drama or that. How much mental space could you get back
How much
if you let go of that
freer
stuff?
would you feel? Mm-hmm.
How much is that like dragging you down
Mm-hmm.
or making you negative?
Mm-hmm. Totally.
But then the question is like, how do you let go of it, right? Pray.
Pray, forgiveness, being in God's word, surrounding
Hmm.
yourself with other people that are like minded and you know.
And try to replace replace the negative,
Mm-hmm.
not that they're all negative thoughts, but like replace those with something positive, or replace it with, nope, God's timing's perfect, we'll figure it out.
Yep.
Or deep breathing.
Mm-hmm.
That could work for like the patience thing too.
Yeah.
um, be willing to like know that it's going to work out and not have to be in control. That's
Well,
a
and
hard
like
one.
stand true on what like okay, in my whole life, I know that God has provided. So
Somehow it's work.
why would it change now? Like even standing on the truth, right? I've never gone hungry. I've never had a roof over my head. Like my life has been chaotic in other areas growing up and as a kid. Okay, but God has always provided, and I've always been okay. So why would that change now? It's not going to.
Mm-mm. And you've always found the lesson too and everything
Yeah.
because there's always a lesson to be learned,
Yeah.
right?
So,
Even if it's like even if it's like shitty things that happened when you were younger, you learn
mhm,
to do differently now for your kids, right?
100%. So, like, it's also standing on that. So,
Hmm. And you said a good one. He'll never ask you or give you more than you can handle. He'll never ask you to carry something that is like too heavy for you.
100%.
You may not think
Feel
so at the
like
time.
it.
Yes. So let's be clear on that. You could feel like, oh my God, I can't handle this.
Hmm. I
But you
have
can,
legitimately said that numerous times
that you can't handle
in
it.
the past, almost 3 months of this weird limbo transition. I can't do this
Hmm.
anymore. I can't. Okay, well, obviously I can.
Yes.
So it's also like you in it, right? And we've said this before, when you're in it, it's worse. But it's just getting out of it.
Yes.
So it's like you feel like you can't handle it now, but you of course can. So you just gotta keep working to get out of it.
And I look at you from the outside right now in your whole situation, and I'm like, oh, you've totally been like great. You like handled it so well, like literally living at like somebody else's house and the kids and through the holidays. I'm just like, you're doing so good.
Oh well, you should just hear it. You should call Joseph and ask how I've been doing.
I thought that we couldn't handle it this morning at breakfast because Lenny was not feeling good and she was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, well,
We
yeah.
gotta go.
Two,
We gotta
I've got two sick kids now, and the
go.
overstimulation of just being touched all the time and wanting to be cuddled the whole time. And I mean, I'm trying not to get sick, and work is texting me and all of this stuff. And I'm just like, okay, I'm done with everyone being sick. Nobody breathe on
That's when you
me.
throw up your hands. Throw up your hands.
Yeah,
God take what isn't there? Carrie Underwood sang a song,
Jesus,
Jesus
take
Take
the
the
wheel.
Wheel.
Totally.
I mean, you just got it,
You
right?
just got to. So,
Um, okay, well, happy Sunday
happy
from
Sunday.
Elena and Alyssa's sermon right now.
Our church
And
recaps.
that was our devotional takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
Um, hopefully that helped somebody out there and you got some little nuggets and just know that you got this and you are strong enough to do everything that you have on your plate
And probably and
and
then some, you guys. Come on, we're pretty
more.
awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Big game tonight. All right. Well, have a good day.
You too.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.